It's always exciting when Takomo releases something new, and they've done that here with the SF002 wedges. This is their new line of premium wedges, but not at a premium price, $99. So have Takomo done it again? Have they created an exceptional club for a budget price, or are these things going to fall short? I'm gonna put it through a battery of tests out here at Carrollwood Country Club in order to find out. I am not sponsored by Takomo. This is an unbiased review. I hope you love it. Let's get to work. All right, here's your closer look at this club. As I said, it is beautiful. You've got kind of a brushed finish as well as some bead blasting here. You've got minimal badging here from Takomo. This is the F grind 50-degree wedge, but I've also here got today the 46 as well as a 54 and 58. And my 58 degree is the V grind. The F grind is going to be the more forgiving grind. You can think of the F as forgiving, although Takomo refers to it as full. And then you've got the V grind, which is going to give you some more versatility. But even for a forgiving grind like this, the bounce is not extreme. Now, this features a full face groove, and if we zoom in here, you will see this has beautiful milling around the grooves as well. So it's really a premium looking iron for, again, like we said, not necessarily a premium price. Now, the other piece of technology you can't necessarily see here is that Takomo has progressively weighted these. So there's going to be weight a little bit lower on this 50-degree wedge, whereas in the 54, 58, 60 degrees, that weight is going to move up higher. That's going to give you optimal trajectory on shots, especially if you like to flight your wedge shots. Now, in terms of a shaft, they paired this with an interesting one. I think this might be a little bit of a miss, but it's a KBS Tor 120 gram stiff shaft. This is more of an standard iron shaft. I would have liked them to use a wedge specific type of shaft, but when you've got a budget club, there's going to be some concessions, no doubt. But interesting choice there in the 120 gram stiff shaft. It'll work great for this 50 and for the 48 degree wedge where you're hitting full shots, but we'll see how it holds up on the 54 and 58 around the greens. They've also got it paired with a standard grip here. This is a lambkin cross line. We see this on a lot of direct-to-consumer clubs. All in all, I think a really great package. It's going to give you some confidence with that full face groove. And again, I love the multiple finishing options here. But looks is one thing, performance is another. So let's take this out on course and put it through the tests. First test here, I'm going to take out the 54 degree wedge. We're going to hit some flighted lower shots, really testing stopping power from almost a full fairway shot. I like to hit these shots like 85% swings, keep them low and see if we can get to stop and stick. Let's see what happens here. All right, first shot. Again, trying to keep this low and get some check. Looking pretty good. Let's see if we get the stop. Yeah, wow, that's stuck pretty nice, look like, from here anyways. Sometimes I like to hit these shots just a little thinner. It actually puts some spin on the ball, but on this next one, I am gonna drive down on it a little bit more. Caught a nice divot there. Let's see what happens on this type of shot. It's a little longer, but still just stopped on a dime, which is really nice. Looks like we're getting some great spin and great control here onto these. Shot 3 on a better line. And again, just really stops and sticks. Love that. I love that I can really control the flight of this ball. The weight of these is excellent. Shot 4 here. Really nice. I'm going to take one more just because I'm enjoying this. On this one, I'm going to move it up in my stance just a little bit and just get it a little bit higher. What's nice is with this V grind, we've got some versatility here. I should have a lot of spin on it. Really nice. Now, in terms of the feel of those full shots, they feel great. And I think a lot of that has to do with the shaft choice. I'm a big fan of the KBS Tor. I have that in a lot of my personal clubs. But again, I sort of question why they didn't use the KBS wedge specific shafts. I think that's a little bit of a miss. Would have been nice to see, especially in the weaker lofted clubs here. All in all 5 of those I thought were really good. 3 of those were excellent. And all of them spun really well. So it's nice that you've got the option here with the Takomo wedges of having a more versatile grind, the V grind, and a more forgiving grind with that F grind, which is gonna be a little bit wider sole. You'll need that if you need a little extra forgiveness. So let's take out that grind, 58 degree wedge, and see what we can do with some more touchy shots around the green. All right, so I got the 58 degree wedge here, and what we're gonna do is see if we can really use the versatility of this club, open up that face, and try to hit some flop shots where we're a little bit more short-sighted here. I'm also gonna give myself a lie in this second cut of rough, which is going to be a little bit thicker. So in order to hit this shot, I really like to open my body up, and I'm going to be a lot more wristy with the shot. I'm going to release my wrists as I come through the ball. Let's see if we can get the weight of the shot right here. Up in the air, super high. Boy, that was a great result for a first try with any wedge. I would take that 10 out of 10 times. Is it repeatable? That's always the question, right? Yes. Oh, that is nice. This is the type of shot you want to hit if you've got a bunker in front of you or some sort of hazard that you've got to get over and you don't have a lot of green to work with. It's really nice that you can do that here. Really open this thing up wide, and also having the full face groove gives you a lot more confidence on this shot, because oftentimes a flop shot is going to be a little bit higher up on the face is where it's going to hit. Can I do it 3 times in a row? Yes. Wow. So for not having ever practiced with a club and to be able to do that right out of the gates 3 out of 3 times and really have good cracks at making a comeback par, loving what I see here out of the Takomo new Skyforge 2 wedges. Beautiful, beautiful results. Let's go to the next test. All right, next test here is I'm going to take out the 46-degree wedge, and we're going to play a par 3 here. It's 128, which should be good pitching wedge distance, and that's what a 46-degree wedge is. Basically, it's a pitching wedge. Now, I'd love to know, are you a person that plays the set wedge? Are you going to play the pitching wedge from the set, or even the gap wedge? A lot of people are going 5 to gap wedge. Or are you a person that likes to play a custom wedge as your pitching wedge? Let's test this one out and find out how I do. That's a great one. That looks just a little left of the hole, and it seemed to check up really nicely. Didn't hit that dead middle of the club face either. Hit that slightly toe side, but very forgiving result. Shot 2. That's right at it again. Just slightly left of the pin. Oh, man, they feel great. This is not a forged wedge. It's a cast club, but great feel. That's another good one. Boy, all 3 of those are on a very similar line. All right, so 3 on the green. Again, a very similar dispersion pattern. That was our best one there, but it's tough to see where these actually hit, but I think this one hit here, sucked back a little bit. The reason it's hard is because these greens have been punched. This was the one that I hit a little thin and a little off the toe, but great result here. Just rolled out about 2 feet. And then again, we got one pin high here, which was flush. This should have been our 3rd one. And that one hit right in here, took 1 hop and stopped. All right, so 3 decent results there, I thought. Now with these greens punched, they're not gonna stop and stick so well, but looked pretty good to me. And especially that second shot, I got a little bit more grab than I deserved out of that thin shot. So real nice. Let's go to the next test here. All right, so let's go greenside bunker here, because after all, these are sand wedges. I'm gonna take the 58-degree wedge. We do have some nice fluffy new sand here at Carolwood. It's not that new, but since last hurricane, they replaced it, and it's pretty good sand here for a medium distance bunker shot. Just wanna hit about a 1/2 inch behind this ball, see how it releases. Well, what was nice about that is it didn't release. It definitely had some good spin on it. Got out of the sand easy. And there's some nice spin coming out of here, actually. I'm gonna have to hit it just a little bit harder. That's a little better, but we still need it harder still. There we go. Nice action from these. That's a beautiful thing. I generally don't get that much spin. I usually kind of runs out a little bit more, so I got to get used to having that kind of action. So really, really nice, super easy coming out of the sand here with the SF002s, and excellent in terms of the spin and stopping power potential of these. I really, really like that. I don't mind taking a bigger swing out of a bunker and feeling more confident with the swing. It actually makes it easier to get out of the bunker. So I would say pass with flying colors here on the bunker test. Let's go to the next one. All right, next test here, I am just on the apron with the 58-degree wedge. I'm gonna hit a number of different types of shots here and just see if we can develop a feel here with the Takomo wedges. With this one, I'm gonna place it back in the back of my stance, hit more of a bump and run. Let's see what happens. Still some extreme check there, which is a good thing. So I can be a little bit more aggressive with my stroke here. And I can really trust that I'm going to get some nice check up here. Feel coming off the club is excellent. Wow. It almost like knuckleballed there after it hit. Amazing, so I really like that. Now I'm gonna actually move the ball up in my stance a little bit, hit these a little higher, and we should see them stop even more. Nice thing about this grind is it's very versatile. And look at that action. Wow, get in. Oh, we're gonna end it there. I was gonna end it anyways, but what a great way to end it. The nice thing about this V grind is you can hit different types of shots. You can hit the low runners, you can hit the high checkers like that. And boy, I'm getting a feel for these very, very quickly, as you can see. All right, let's talk about value here with these wedges. They are priced, I think, really well for the quality you're getting. We're talking $99 a wedge. The big name brands are gonna be up around $169, sometimes up to $189 right now in 2025. And I think prices are only gonna get more expensive here as this tariff situation starts to unfold. Luckily, there's some deals being made, so we might dodge a bullet, but all in all, golf clubs keep getting more and more expensive, and I think a $99 wedge is priced really well. Now, you do have some cheaper options on the market though. For instance, those Kirkland Signature V2 wedges, you can get the full set for $169. That is fantastic value as well. But $99 for a direct-to-consumer wedge of this quality, I think that is pretty darn good value. All right, last test here, I'm gonna take out the 50-degree wedge. This is a wedge that I often use from two different positions. Firstly, for about 120-yard golf shot, like a full wedge shot. This is a great distance for me. Also on a longer chip where I want a little bit more rollout, and that's what we're gonna try right now. I'm gonna get behind the hole here on the back side of the green. We're gonna hit a longer kind of bump and run shot and see if we can get the distance right. All right, now I'm also gonna give myself a little bit more of a suspect lie here. We're gonna be in some thicker Bermuda behind the hole here. Now we're also on this green on a downhill slope, so once it hits the green, it's probably going to release. Let's see if we can get the weight of the shot right. Hit my landing spot. Let's see if we can get that nice rollout towards the hole. Pretty good for distance there, and it's getting better. Very, very nice. I'm loving the control I'm getting out of these. And you're seeing all the shots I'm taking. There's no editing here. That one I hit a little bit firmer, but we got a little more check too, so I think that is gonna be pretty good. Again, another excellent result. This is a great shot to play, I think, especially for higher handicaps. When you try to get the ball and you're taking big swings trying to get the ball up in the air, there's so much more that can go wrong. That's a more advanced shot. But to keep it low around the green, hit more of a bump and run type of shot, I think more people should play these. Just put it down in the back of your stance a little bit and let it run out. That one may not run out quite enough for us though. Gotta hit it just a little bit firmer. Cutting through this Bermuda that's thick here in the summer very well though, I'll say that. It's cutting right through it. One more here. That came out a little better. And again, really nice result. Gosh, it's gonna be very hard for me to find some faults with these wedges. Let's go ahead and rank these on our wedge criteria. First off is feel. Feel to me with these wedges is absolutely excellent. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a 4.5 out of 5. You'll get a little softer feel out of a forged wedge, but I think you've got a better, more consistent type of wedge in a cast wedge. So the feel is really good. When it comes to spin, the next thing you really need for a wedge, these are right up at the top. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a 5 out of 5. And I also love, again, the fact that you've got the grooves, full face here. It's going to give you more spin when you don't strike it right in the sweet spot of the club. A lot of people hit it more towards the toe, as I've done here today. When it comes to versatility, with the V grind especially, that wedge is extremely versatile. And also the F grind, honestly, not the thickest and most bouncy of wedges either. So you're gonna get plenty of options for versatility even out of the F grind wedges from Takomo here. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4.5 out of 5 for versatility. When it comes to aesthetics, looks, feel, and sound, clean look here from Takomo. They are beautiful. I always love the minimal badging we get out of Takomo irons. All in all, the finish is beautiful here with a brushed as well as a bead blasted finish there near the badging of this club. They've done an excellent job. It looks like a premium wedge without the premium price. The extra milling there on the face of this club here and the grooves, and you got that white line. All in all, just a beautiful looking package. And then sound, excellent sound, nice crunch at impact on full shots. All in all, for aesthetics for me, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 5 out of 5. Last category here is going to be value. As I mentioned, they're priced at $99, which I think is a very, very competitive price. All in all, I'm gonna give them a 4 out of 5 for value. Fantastic score here for Takomo wedges. Really, really enjoy these. I think we're gonna see them in a lot of people's bags, not only on YouTube, but out on the golf course as well. We know a lot of YouTubers play these clubs, so you'll see a lot of them. So you know I don't like to blow smoke up your butt, and I like to be completely honest here. I'm trying to find faults in these wedges, but there's very few faults I can find. I think maybe some folks don't want the full face groove. It would be nice if they had the option to just have regular grooves. That could be one potential thing we could see added. good. I think maybe that shaft choice, as we talked about, could have been a little bit better. This is more of a basic shaft. It's more of a shaft you get on a set of irons. But apart from that, it's very, very hard to find fault here with Takomo. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'd love to know what you think down below. I think we're going to see a lot of these wedges on YouTube because a lot of YouTubers are sponsored by Takomo. I am not one of those, but I do think they put out a really good product for the price. They've done it again here with the SF002 wedges. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you back here next time on another edition of Let's Play Thru.